You're already in Canada on a temporary status, a work permit, a study permit, maybe a visitor record. And every time you ask about permanent residence, you get a different answer. One person says TR to PR is coming back. Another says, no, it's gone. Someone else says, just do express entry. Like that's one button you press and your whole life changes and you get approved. Meanwhile, your permit has an expiry date. Your job, your housing, your plans, they're all connected to that expiry date. I'm Evelyn Ackah. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer, and I've spent over 25 years helping temporary residents transition to permanent residency. And today, I'm going to do something simple and plain. I'm going to explain what people mean when they say TR to PR, that is temporary resident to permanent resident, what actually is open right now for temporary residents, and how to position yourself so you don't miss your best shot. And I'll give you a clear plan, not rumors, not TikTok guesses, a real plan. All right, let's get into it now. First, what is the TR to PR and why are people still talking about it? When most people say TR to PR, they're usually talking about the special public policy that opened in 2021 during the pandemic. It was designed to transition certain temporary residents, including essential workers and recent grads, to permanent residency. But here's the key truth. That specific TR to PR pathway is closed. It's not a program you can apply to today if you missed it. However, the Canadian government has announced recently that it may be coming back this year, 2026, and it's going to be for about 35,000 applicants who qualify. So if you're watching this thinking, where is the TR to PR application link? That's exactly why you feel confused. People are using the name of an old pathway to talk about a bigger idea. How do you go from temporary resident to permanent resident in Canada currently? That bigger idea is still very real, and there are multiple pathways that can do it for you if you pick the right one for you. So here's how we're going to simplify everything. I want you to think in terms of 4 doors. Door 1, express entry, especially for people with Canadian work experience. Door 2, provincial nominee programs, PR through the province that you live and work. Door 3, regional programs, Atlantic, rural, Francophone community programs. And door 4, specific pilot programs and sector programs when they're open. Your job is not to memorize every program Canada has ever launched. Your job is to test the 4 doors, find the one that fits, and then build your file so you're ready. Of course, we always recommend you work with an immigration lawyer. Before we test the doors, do this quick self-check. Seriously, pause if you need to. 3 questions. What is your current status and when does it expire? Because if your status expires while you're planning, you can lose far more than time. 2, are you working in Canada right now and is your job considered skilled under the current system? This one question decides whether express entry becomes your fastest route. Number 3, do you have valid language test results or a real plan to do your language test? Because language results are a gatekeeper in multiple pathways and people delay it way too long. If you have those answers, then here we go. Door number 1, express entry. The most common in Canada strategy right now is express entry. It's not just one program, it's a system that manages multiple federal programs. If you're already in Canada and you have eligible Canadian work experience, one of the biggest pathways to understand is the Canadian experience class. This is where I see a lot of temporary residents win for immigration, but only when they do it properly. Here's what matters. You need to be eligible to be working in Canada. You need eligible Canadian work experience that matches the right occupational code. And you need to prove you are actually doing the duties, not just holding the job and not just holding the job title. And you need language test results that meet the requirement for your category. Let me make this real. I've seen international graduates work so hard for a full year, but pick a job that doesn't qualify the way that they think it does. It's so sad. I've also seen workers with strong work experience lose months because their reference letters didn't clearly match the duties for the NOC that they claimed in their application. Express entry is points-based, and details decide your points. Now, there's another piece people miss. Even inside Express Entry, sometimes there are category-based selections, meaning they may prioritize candidates with specific skills or language ability. So if you have strong French language skills or work experience in certain in-demand fields, that can change your strategy. But if you don't build your future on maybe they'll draw my category, you can't do that. You build your future on what you can control: your job experience, your documentation, your language results, your profile quality, and your status remaining valid. Door number 2, provincial nominee programs. The province picks you route. If express entry feels like a global competition, provincial nomination is often more targeted. A province or territory can nominate you because they need your skills. They want you working there and you fit their specific stream. For many people, this is the difference between my score isn't high enough and I finally have a real plan. Some PMP streams are aligned with express entry. Some are not. Each province has its own approach, and those streams can often pause, open, and change criteria on a regular basis. So what I want you to take from this is simple. If you are already working in a province, or you studied there, or your employer is willing to support you, you should be checking that province's nominee options early, not as a last resort. Because nomination can be the lever that turns "I hope" into "I'm invited." Door 3, regional programs, Atlantic, rural, and Francophone pathways. If you're flexible about where you live, this door can be powerful. Let's start with Atlantic Canada. The Atlantic Immigration Program is a pathway to permanent residence for skilled workers and eligible international graduates who want to live and work in one of the Atlantic provinces. A major theme here is employer involvement, meaning job offers and designated employers. Now, Beyond Atlantic Canada has also been building regional pathways that support rural and Francophone communities. 2 examples you should know about: the Rural Community Immigration Pilot and the Francophone Community Immigration Pilot. These are designed to help specific communities attract and retain newcomers who can fill key jobs and who actually want to settle long term. This matters because it changes the question from "can I beat everyone in the pool?" to "can I qualify for what this community needs?" For some temporary residents, especially those willing to relocate or already living outside major cities, this is not a small detail. It's a strategy. Door number 4, pilots and sector programs. Opportunities, but watch the intake rules. There are also programs that target specific types of work, like caregiver-related pathways. But here's the warning I need you to hear. These pilots can be extremely popular, and intake can pause on a regular basis. So you never want your entire future to depend on one pilot staying open. The smarter move is to build a primary plan and a backup plan and maybe a third plan. Primary plan, the most realistic route based on your current work location and language skills. Backup plan, the next best route if criteria changes or intake pauses. Now, what if you don't clearly fit into door 1, 2, 3, or 4 right now? This is where most people panic, and that's the moment they start making rushed decisions. Instead, I want you to focus on positioning. Positioning means deliberately move yourself closer to eligibility. Here are the 4 highest leverage moves I see again and again. First, protect your legal status, please. If your permit is expiring soon, don't wait until the last minute. Your ability to stay and work legally is the foundation for everything else in Canada. Second, lock in your language results. People spend months thinking about PR, but they won't book a language test. That delay can cost you an entire season of opportunity. Third, make your work experience count, please. That means correct the National Occupation Classification. Use the correct NOC code. Correct duties, correct letters, correct proof, not just the vibes, but proof that you are doing the right job. And fourth, be smart about location. Some pathways get easier when you're willing to work where Canada needs you, whether that's a province nomination stream, Atlantic Canada, or a participating rural or Francophone community. And there's one more reason positioning matters right now. Canada has been talking openly about transitioning more people who are already here, workers with roots who are paying taxes, who are building communities. That doesn't mean you wait for the government to save you. It means you prepare so when opportunities open, you're ready, not scrambling. Let me close with the most common mistakes I see so you don't repeat them. 1, relying on outdated programs and internet rumors. If the program is closed, it doesn't matter how many people say it's coming back. You don't have time for that. 2, waiting until your status is about to expire. That pressure makes people rush their documents and they make avoidable mistakes. 3, weak documentation. A strong pathway with weak documents still fails. 4, picking the wrong strategy for your profile. Not everyone should start with express entry. Not everyone should start with a PMP. The right move depends on your specific facts and situation. So here's your next step. After this video, do not go down a rabbit hole. Do this instead. Write down your status and expiry date. Write down your current job title, duties, and how long you've worked in Canada. Decide which of the 4 doors you're closest to right now. Book your language test if you don't have one that's valid. And start building your proof before you need it, such as police certificates. Because the people who win these pathways are not always the smartest. They're the ones who are ready when the window opens. If you want to go deeper, your next video is the hidden express entry loophole no one talks about. Because there are myths that waste people months and sometimes years, and there are real strategies that can save you time, money, and regret. Watch that next, and I'll see you over there.